For 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a final amendment. It will not kill the bill. It will not send the bill back to committee. If adopted, the bill will immediately proceed to final passage as amended. Mr. Speaker, 2 weeks ago, D.C. went dark. The lights went out. The power stopped. Near the White House, lights out, no power at the Department of State. Federal agencies were plunged into darkness. Small businesses plunged into darkness. Business stopped. The business of government stopped because there was a blackout. Now, in this case, Mr. Speaker, this loss of energy was because of a blown transformer, and there was no indication that this was a result of a cyber attack on our energy sources or systems. There are indications, Mr. Speaker, every day of attempted attacks on our critical energy infrastructure. And this amendment simply strengthens the response of the Department of Homeland Security to protect our constituents, our government, our infrastructure, and our country from this attack. Mr. Speaker, the House is not in order.
Gentleman's correct. Gentleman will suspend. The House will please come to order. Gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in the first 6 months of 2012, we know that there was a sustained and persistent cyber attack on critical gas pipeline control systems. Now, the good news is that we successfully defended against those attacks. The bad news is, as we all know, the very nature of cyber war means that every time you defend against an attack, you are transmitting to your attackers what your defenses are. The DHS reports that of roughly 200 cases of major cyber attacks handled by DHS's cybersecurity team in 2013, 40% were in the energy sector. There have been attacks on supervisory control and data acquisition systems, SCADA. Those attacks doubled between 2013 and 2014. So we know these attacks are being attempted. We know how serious it is. We learned 2 weeks ago what happens when we plunge into the darkness. We know the economic devastation, the social devastation, the military devastation that will occur when an attack is successful, when a cyber attack against our energy systems succeeds. We know it's coming, and we cannot wait until the day after when we ask ourselves in the dark, why didn't we do more yesterday? This is like being told that Pearl Harbor is coming, that 9/11 is coming, knowing it's coming, and deciding, are you going to do something about it, or are you going to continue to bury your head in the sand? Now, this amendment is very simple, Mr. Speaker. It simply directs the Department of Homeland Security to organize a strong, concerted, focused partnership with energy companies throughout this country. Those partnerships would provide technical assistance from DHS to energy companies and information sharing. These partnerships would be focused on critical infrastructure, the electrical grid, oil and gas pipelines, and nuclear power plants.
Gentleman from New York will please suspend. The gentleman deserves the courtesy of being heard. Please take conversations off of the floor. Gentleman from New York is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, what happened in Washington, D.C. on April 7th of this year can happen in any congressional district in this body. Instead of a blown transformer, it will be a cyber attack against energy systems in any one of the districts represented here today, Mr. Speaker. And when that happens, our constituents will ask us from that place in the dark, what did you do to prevent it, and what did you do to protect me from it? And this vote on this motion to recommit will be your answer. Let's put the protection of our businesses, our government, our military, and our constituents ahead of partisanship and vote yes on this motion to recommit. With that, I yield.